All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is 2 o'clock on the 26th of February, 2026. This is the State Building Code Council Legislative Committee meeting. We will call it to order. We'll start out with roll call, please.
Tom Handy,
Here.
Todd Baberther.
Here.
Jay Arnold told us he was not going to be able to make it today. Ben O'Mara,
Here.
Roger Haringa.
He let us know he won't be available today either.
Okay, I didn't get that message. Shell Anderson
Good afternoon.
and Angela Haupt
Here.
and Representative Alex Reynolds. Oh, we do have a quorum.
All righty. Is there anybody from the public that would like to be recognized? Tim.
The Mattery Associated General Contractors of Washington.
Patrick.
Yes, thank you. This is Patrick Hanks with the Building Industry Association of Washington.
Welcome, everybody. Anybody else? See no hands. Oh, there we go. White.
Yeah, it's just Hoyt Jeter, Principal Engineer, City of Tacoma. Sorry, I was a little bit late.
That's quite okay. All right, last call for introductions. See no more hands. Next is to review and approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second, Ben.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Review and approve the minutes from last week. February 19th is next. Minutes are about as short as the meeting was.
I move that we approve the minutes as shown.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes as shown. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Alrighty. The minutes have been approved. Legislative update. Dustin, you want to start it?
Yes, sir. All right, just made sure I got my screen share going on that one. So welcome to week 8 update. We have just passed the opposite house policy cutoff, which was the 25th. Our next cutoffs are, oops, the wrong notes. We have the opposite house fiscal cutoff on March 2nd, and then the opposite house final cutoff on March 6th, and then sine die on March 12th. And so we don't have any important bills coming up for hearings next week. All of the bills on this list that are still alive are showing some movement within the opposite house, trending towards their passage. And the big update, or I guess not the big update, but we have one bill that was in our monitoring list that has made it to the dead list. It's a 5941. It's for on-site renewables related to schools and an exemption for them. So that one's new to the dead list. And everything else seems to be moving towards passage right now. And so the main one here, high priority, the Kid Homes bill is moving towards passage. Haven't seen any amendments to that come down the line. For scissor stairs, similar. And then for our other 3 low priority bills, haven't seen any amendments coming down for those, except for the 5156 elevator small apartment bill. That one had some amendments on the floor. It's not out there in an engrossed substitute version yet. You'd have to look at the committee materials to see what those amendments are, but it struck the very last uh, section, or not section, but very last paragraph from that one, saying that L&I and SBCC would continue to support harmonization of international and national standards. And so with that, I don't have much more to update on this one, just that we're staying tuned for any changes and any updates on here as far as movement and passage of the bills.
Yeah, 2228, the scissor stairs did move forward today. It was on the Senate floor, so that's crossed another hurdle. So, any discussion on any of these? And we'll take any comments from the public too during any of these times here. I don't see any hands
Nope.
or hear anybody. All right. Well, does anybody have anything in their crystal ball?
Just glass in mine.
Just glass, huh? Is it transparent or opaque?
Depends on how you're looking through it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's a few bills that would ask the Building Code Council to convene technical advisory groups and wondering about schedule and, how workload will get done, and hoping that the legislature is considering workload and the cost of doing work with the Building Code Council.
Yeah, did you want to talk at all about the budget stuff that you saw, Dustin?
Not specifically. I can say though that the Senate and House budgets have some monies for SBCC related to legislation. Those two budgets are not the same, but those are, draft proposal budgets within both houses. And as they come together and hash it out, we will get additional updates on those, the fiscal impacts and what the legislature is going to do with those as they move forward. But we have some budgets proposed that are out there, and they're addressing some of the bills that we have here. But since it's very preliminary at this stage, I would probably prefer to not get into it too deep.
All right, Todd.
Thank you, Chair. I guess my question for Shell is, are you signaling that you would prefer to not have technical advisory groups formed for these? I think we should be deliberate on messaging to the legislature. I think two of them do directly form tags, and I think that's appropriate because they're very specific, like that elevator one. And then the scissor stair triggers a existing building code tag, so I don't think that's a special lift. And then the third is the kid homes, which doesn't specify what to do and where to put it. So I think that was the most flexible, and I appreciate that they're giving that flexibility on that one. Just giving my opinion. So thank you.
In no way am I saying the legislature shouldn't ask us to convene tags to do things or do work to make rules. I'm just thinking about the challenges with workload and staff and stuff that we've had this cycle, and hoping that next cycle can be at least a bit smoother in terms of all those things.
You want to weigh in on that at all, Dustin?
Well, I am hopeful that we will be in a position to take on some additional work in addition to what we've got going right now. So the goal is to bring the 2024 codes to final adoption in, I want to say August. And I'm pretty sure that that's an accurate statement based on what we have published out there. But bringing them across in August, that means that, any chance we get in the interim from CR 102 filing till final adoption and then beyond, that we'll be working towards getting some of the draft work for code publication out of the way. And I've been talking about in the past how I would like to look forward to after final adoption and in between that time frame and January of 2027 to set up the 2027 code cycle so that it can be anticipated to work. Alongside of that, I think that we can take on the work for the Kit Homes bill and the other stuff that we got going. The scissor stairs will be part of the 2027 code update. I believe this Kit Homes one is asking for us to move pretty quick on it. And I think we can get across the line on it. Will the final rulemaking be done by the end of the year? Likely not, as far as the Kit Homes bill, but we can begin work on it and make mileage. And I think that we won't overload at once we can get there with the 2024 codes.
Well, we'll see what the budget brings, and hopefully there'll be a little bit of money for implementation of these things so that if you need to hire staff or consultants or whatever to get some of the stuff done, that'll ease your burden so you're not pulling 20-hour days. All right. Any other business?
Not for me.
Okay, anybody else have anything you want to bring forward? I think we're on target for setting a record here for one of the shorter meetings from the SBCC, at least that I've been involved in. All right, any last comments? Elizabeth, please.
You guys already answered this. I was just curious with the pending legislation, is it the intention to form those tags and then have that rulemaking go into the current code cycle?
So for the scissor stairs one, no. We would be wanting to form tags if they're required as soon as possible. I think the scissor stair one can be undertaken by a existing tag. And then for the Kit Homes, let me just take a glance at what the bill language says again before I try to speak from memory. Let me pop it up for everybody here too. So the idea is to formulate whatever group needs to be formulated to do this rulemaking within the time frame that we got going on for March 31st of 2027. It would be an off-cycle rule that would be targeted towards the 2024 codes, yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, for this one, I was thinking I'd like to propose that we maybe talk a little bit about it at the executive committee next week. My proposal might be to bring a special council committee to kind of form and scope the problem and then bring that back to the council on whether or not we want to form a special tag or other process. So I think to have an open formation exercise would be desirable on my standpoint in the next couple months, assuming this goes through.
Okay. Did you have more, Elizabeth?
No, that's all. I was just curious what kind of wiggle room you guys had as far as a flexible timelines.
Okay, I just saw your hand still up. So Ben first and then Hoyt.
Yep, and then Dustin, like 5156 also has that requirement. I don't think there's a date in there that I was seeing. for implementation.
The way I viewed this language is that it requires an ongoing review of hoistway protections in section 2. And then for section 1, it just says for the 2027 codes for that part there. So that would segue into I think both of these fall into 2027 code cycle, but section 2 requires an ongoing review for hoistway protections.
Yeah, and that one kind of spells out who needs to be involved in that too, doesn't it?
I think they're naming some specific positions for bringing into a technical advisory group, and then most of our technical advisory groups are at 15 members, so there's room for us to add on to that and kind of be in alignment with our same size technical advisory groups. And kind of as I was envisioning how this would work for the 2027 code cycle, is this group would convene, look at this specific topic, make a recommendation on it, and then bring it back into the main body of the IBC tag for final inclusion in 2027 code language.
Okay, Hoyt.
Give me 1 second. Hoyt, you should be able to go now.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to basically going back to those kit homes and things like that, the kit things. There's a lot of little issues with, who's going to be responsible. We're talking about here at the city of Tacoma. Who's going to be responsible for making sure is what? Is it L&I, or is it going to be, like mobile homes or things like that? Labor and industry does a lot of that stuff. We do the foundation, all that stuff. We may do stairs that are going off of, like mobile homes and things like that. These kit homes, I'm seeing this maybe, could be fabricated around different parts of the country, get shipped to a site or things like that. So I just wanted to, just in case I'm not there, that for the kit home stuff, that we make sure, we kind of think of all the stuff. And then in addition, code changes, right? So you get the code changes that goes on the cycle, making sure we follow that accordingly. And then the last thing is, are these kit homes, are we going to ask, a lot of this is falling to me, possibly under the IRC, International Residential Code. Are we going to require design professional stamps and things like that on it? I just wanted to, just in case I'm not involved in any of those kit home things, how we're going to actually make sure these are still safe for and being placed in areas around Washington State. So that's all I wanted to say. So.
Thanks, Hoyt. Any other comments? Any other business? Well, seeing none. Item 6 is adjourn. Everybody's so inclined, then we can go on with our day.
Sounds good. I appreciate everybody's time today.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.